Round one, we have the choice. We'll play first, and it's a keep. Definitely want to open with mountains since we're running double Mardu Scout. And if we get to go Mardu Scout into Heel Cutter, that would be insane. Otherwise, I think we're probably just going to morph rather than dash. Alright, so I think the plan is Morph Dragon into Tomb Shell, or I guess if our opponent hasn't played anything, maybe we go Heel Cutter. But if our opponent's blue-white, there's a better chance he's got a lot of flyers, so Tomb Shell gets worse in that case. Twin Bolt seems fine here, but we're still going to just Dargon. Yeah, now is probably a higher chance we're just going to hardcast a Heel Cutter. Although if my opponent plays another 1 toughness flyer, or 1 toughness anything for that matter, Twin Bolt is going to look pretty good. Morph of your own. So I think I'm going to attack my dragon into the morph. Our late game plan is so phenomenal that Acid Spear Dragon doesn't matter. And if he doesn't block, we get to follow up with a Heel Cutter, which is a pretty aggressive play anyway. And now we're just 2 turns, 1 mana shy of Dragon Lord, which is likely pretty good for us. Alright, so we're playing against Esper. It's interesting. I hope he doesn't attack with the morph and plays another morph, because then maybe the plan was to block the Heel Cutter, you know, but looks like we're just erasing a bit here, which is fine. No plays. Well, it could be Whisk Away or something, but I'm just going to tolerate that. Or it could be nothing as well. Alright, well, now I'm just going to play a Tomb Shell to block the morph. I could have just killed it with Twin Bolt, but I don't mind just playing a Tomb Shell. Next turn, Dragon Lord comes down, and we have some vicious beats. Carsey Deceiver. It's pretty unusual. It's not a bad card to have when you have a morph out. Let's see if we get Douse and Gloomed here. Ultimate price. Well, that's not bad for him. We're definitely going to punish that Palace Familiar attack. Not going to attack with our morph this time, pretty clearly. Next turn we get to play Outrider plus Twin Bolt, and Outrider's going to have haste and formidable. It's pretty sexy. So our opponent's got to come up with a solution to this Dragon Lord pretty quick, or is going to be in some big, big trouble. Or we could just draw a land, get Acid Spear Dragon online too, but no, I think it makes more sense to Outrider Twin Bolt. Although, maybe it just leaves up the Morph mana. Like if our opponent plays a land here, it's 7 mana to do the Morph. Okay. Could be turning this face up. This should have been add 1 mana of any color for face down, or to turn a manifested creature face up. But I guess blue doesn't really get colored mana, so that sort of makes sense, but just makes this card weaker, you know, a little bit more narrow. No plays. Jeez. Enduring Victory mana is up. I think I'm just going to swing Outrider here. If this is something big, I should be able to finish it off with either of my removal spells. And I don't feel the need to walk into an Enduring Victory here. All the mana up is kind of the big indicator to me. Could be just because, you know, they wanted to unmorph, but having exact Enduring Victory mana, Enduring Victory being common, it just makes sense to me. We're going to First Strike trample over top of that anyway, so okay. You got it. And now I'm just a dragon away from... Actually, I mean... 1 point. I probably could have just attacked with everything, but whatever. I feel like we're in a pretty good position here. Our opponent would have to do something pretty insane to get out of this. I mean, here's 5 damage right here. Guess we swing with everything now. All right. So, I don't know. Did opponent not have Enduring Victory? Maybe I needlessly played around a card, but like I said, we were in such a commanding position. I don't see any reason to give up like momentum when if they're behind on board and they have to leave up 5 mana every turn. I say don't attack. I mean, anyway, Esper. I do think Tomb Shell is... I think Tomb Shell is quite a bit worse in this matchup. You know what? I think I'm actually going to swap a Tomb Shell for a Boom Keg here. And I think Spider Silk Net might be good enough for the other one too. Does that leave us with too few creatures? 13 creatures. It's not a lot, admittedly, but Spider Silk Net seems pretty good. And like the Tomb Shells just typically are not going to be good in a blue-white deck. It seemed like that was blue-white splash black. Or was it blue-black splash white? The Coat with Venom was the only black card we saw. We saw Interceptor, Car Seat. It seemed like mostly blue, which still would indicate a lot of flyers. I'm just going to bring these two in. Yes, we drop a couple creatures, but like I said, I think there's a good chance the Tomb Shells are irrelevant in this matchup anyway. So let's try this out. It's a nice hand. No need to drop Spider Silk Net just yet. All right. Spider Silk Net looks a lot better here. Because now my opponent's going to want to keep Pow's Familiar back. And when we equip up with Spider Silk Net, it's going to be nice. All right. Slightly less good now, but we also get to keep Net back. Or keep our Scout back. And we're building towards some pretty good removal spells at the moment. I feel like I'm the only person that plays Spider Silk Net. Gets a bad reputation. Or just no one cares about it for some reason, but I think it's a nice sideboard card to have. All right, Pyrotechnics doesn't actually look that insane here, but it's going to be, I mean, it's probably going to be good enough. I attack, he blocks his Updraft Elemental, we go 1/1/2 to my opponent. Board wipe, get rid of the guys. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that. Oh, wait. Did I miss a land drop? No. I screwed it up. Well. Okay. Well, I guess I'm actually... That block went a lot better than... So basically I just faked my way into a good block there. I mean, granted he drew a card, but we also just got a flyer off the board. And I have Reach of Shadows for big stuff. I've got Pyrotechnics. Well, that's pretty good for us. It's also instant speed, which I forgot. But I don't play Encased Knights too often. But yes, I've forgotten that before. All right. I probably just Pyrotechnics the Morph. Not really... I could just leave up Reach of Shadows, I guess, but... Depends on what I draw, I suppose. There's our Swift Workite. Now I wish Mardu Scott was dead. I guess we can hold out here. Because my opponent takes all his mana to flip the Morph, will just Reach of Shadows it. And Pyrotechnics obviously gets a lot better when you can get more value off of it. And if I'm willing to take 3 damage here and get a 4/4 flyer next turn. And perhaps my opponent plays another morph, and then Pyrotechnics gets a lot better. Okay, pretty brutal there. So next turn we can Reach plus Twin Bolt, or Technics plus Twin Bolt. That might be better. It's only 6 damage though. I guess we'll see. Lotus Patch in. Alright. So I think we're gonna... Okay. I think I know what I'm doing now. I think the plan is... Alright, Pyrotechnics take out Jin and Scribe. You might have to wait another turn before we can reach the shadows. I mean, we're not in super serious trouble yet, but we're in a bit of trouble. Sipsig Host. Hopefully it doesn't mill all of our good stuff. Alright, those are actually cards I'm willing to lose. I mean, we're going to actually have to draw some stuff, though. Wow, lost 2 Interceptors. Alright. I mean, we're playing 18 lands, so I can't say I'm surprised. I think he has Negate mana up, but I'm just going to kill this now. Try and save some damage to us. Alright. So... I mean, we're running a little bit low on time, but we do have Spider Silk Net for when we see a creature. Okay. At least I have the answer for that. Uh-oh. This could be pretty challenging now. Oh, why didn't I re-equip? That was a screw up. Forgot about my Spider Silk Net. Too much in a hurry, I suppose. So now he just has to attack these two. Well, at least he attacked the Icebreakers, but that still sucks. I wouldn't have had to have traded. Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, might have made a difference too, because I would have kept my scout. That sucks. All right, well. Whatever, I'll show it. My mistake. I'm going to swap back into Wandering Tomb Shell. Hopefully the punt doesn't cost me the match, but we'll see. So I'm going to bring one Tomb Shell back. I think I'm going to actually cut the Goblin Boom Keg, just because he's got a lot of high toughness guys. So it doesn't seem correct, in my opinion. So, stupid punt mistake on my part, but let's see if it costs us the match or not. All right, so Tomb Shell come back in, and then I think we're okay. This hand's very good. We shall keep. Surprisingly, don't have a dragon for Draconic Roar, but I'm trying to think what I would discard to Tormenting Voice at the moment. I kind of don't want to discard a land. I kind of don't want to discard Butcher either, but I might be willing to. I mean, I also don't have to play Tormenting Voice right now. Guess we can wait. I kind of like everything we have in our hand, I think, is the main reason. I mean, we've got the better late game plan, as mentioned. And we'll immediately Twin Bolt a Morph. No white mana from our opponent yet. So we'll Twin Bolt that, drop a Tomb Shell. And the only reason I'm Twin Bolting it is now that we know he's got the Spell Eater, which is actually a good card against us. And Interceptor's good too, so it doesn't matter. Interceptor's actually, I would say, a little bit better against us. I'm still thinking I want to drop the Tomb Shell, but maybe not. Maybe I actually play Scout here and leave up Draconic Roar. Actually, now I think I'm going to Tormenting Voice, and we're going to get rid of the Tomb Shell, I think. Okay. Tomb Shell seems less important right now. When we've got so many dragons we can draw. Okay, so I attack into the Morph, and if no blocks, I think we just butcher away the... It's not bad either, but I think we just butcher away the Scout. If my opponent does block, I just follow up with Sadist to set up for a Butcher, probably. Because I can go Sadist plus Stormcrag Elemental. So either of these options are good, yeah. Alright, so now we go Sadist, Stormcrag Elemental. And now the Sadist is just sack fodder for our Butcher, which is also fine. Opponent is mana screwed as well. And we're a mana away from Stormcrag Elemental being really good here. Coat with Venom is left up. So I think that means I want to Twin Bolt, and if my opponent uses Coat with Venom, we'll follow up with Draconic Roar. Because if I play Butcher and my opponent's got Coat with Venom, it's a lot worse for us. So I think I'm just going to bust this out. Use the Coat with Venom, and then I'll Draconic Roar. I could have just attacked with the Morph into it. I guess that might have been better. But my opponent also could have just traded, perhaps. Maybe not. And it was a Spell Eater, too, so I definitely wanted to get it off the board. So I basically traded, Spell Eater, Coat with Venom for Roar, Bolt. My opponent might have gotten a slightly better end of that deal, but I still have a Butcher for the next creature, and one land, and our Morph suddenly becomes insane. But yes, I could have attacked with Morph, and yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I could have attacked with Morph, block. They play the Coat with Venom. I'm just not entirely convinced they necessarily would have played the Coat with Venom. They probably would have. There's probably a pretty good chance they would have. Oh no. Now Butcher's gone. See if they have another Coat with Venom. Oh no. I mean, it's a 2-for-1, but it's not the 2-for-1 I want. Or not a 2-for-1, okay. Case with Ice. No Encase with Ice, I guess that's good. Reach is a great one. Do I even want to reach a Zephyr Scribe? Not especially. My opponent can dig for things, but a Zephyr Scribe alone's not going to do it. Opponent just needs to actually find something here. Like, they can dig for Encase with Ice, I guess, but I think we're just going to go for it. Definitely should have waited for post-combat. But, oh, I see. Wait, wanted the Zephyr Scribe ability, which they also didn't use. No, I'm just confused. If you'd waited for post-combat, though, I wouldn't have been able to protect my Stormcrag Elemental. Actually, no, it makes sense that you wouldn't wait for post-combat. What am I talking about? Because of the flatten and the trample. The -4/-4 with the trample. Could you have gotten any luck here? Man, you know what the funny thing about that message is? This guy has no idea what's in my deck. This guy did not even see the full extent of how ridiculous our deck is. He doesn't even know about the Boltwing Marauder. And could I get any luckier? I mean, I totally like punted game 2. Wouldn't, maybe you could consider it he's lucky that I punted game 2 or whatever. I forgot to equip my Mardu Scout. It's kind of odd that you find more bitter people in Swiss than you do. As you are on... At least I can spell untalented. Yeah, it's all right. There's bitter people. See, the funny thing is I consider myself a pretty bitter player, you know, but like, I'll never understand the why take it out on your opponent? Like, I just take it out on my deck and like luck and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I don't like tell my opponent they're lucky. Like, what good comes out of that? Nothing. You know, just internalize your hate. Don't externalize your hate. All right, we'll see you in round 2.